A woman walking with her young daughter spotted what appeared to be a broken mannequin lying beside an empty lot in Los Angeles. But as she moved closer, she realized it was the body of a young woman cut in half, mutilated, and deliberately positioned where someone would find her. There was almost no blood anywhere around her. Whoever killed her had done it somewhere else, cleaned the body, and then placed it beside the sidewalk like a horrifying display. The victim was soon identified as 22-year-old Elizabeth Short. On January 15, 1947, her murder became one of the largest and most infamous investigations in Los Angeles history. Elizabeth had grown up in Massachusetts, but she had spent much of her adult life moving between cities, staying with friends, relatives, and acquaintances. She was drawn to California and dreamed of building a better life near Hollywood. Later stories often described her as an inspiring actress, but Elizabeth never became part of the movie industry. She was one of countless young women attracted to the promise and excitement surrounding Hollywood. With her dark hair, black clothing, and striking appearance, she was eventually given the name that would overshadow her real identity. The Black Dahlia. The nickname was connected to the film The Blue Dahlia, which had recently appeared in theaters, but it was largely spread by newspapers after her death, when reporters turned the murder into a national sensation. The details of the crime were brutal. Elizabeth had been drained of blood. Her body had been severed cleanly at the waist, leading investigators to suspect that the killer may have possessed medical or anatomical knowledge. Cuts extended from the corners of her mouth, creating a permanent, unnatural smile. There were also signs that she may have been restrained and tortured before she died. Because the body had been washed and there was no blood in the lot, police knew the real murder scene was somewhere else. Investigators identified Elizabeth incredibly quickly. Her fingerprints were sent to the FBI using an early image transmission machine, and a match was reportedly made within 56 minutes. Her prints were already on file because she had once applied for work at an army facility and later had been arrested for underage drinking. Once her name became public, newspapers competed aggressively for every detail. Reporters contacted Elizabeth's mother before authorities had officially told her that her daughter was dead. One newspaper reportedly gained her trust by pretending Elizabeth had won a beauty contest, questioning her about Elizabeth's life before revealing the truth. Then someone claiming to be the killer contacted the press. An envelope was mailed containing Elizabeth's birth certificate, photographs, business cards, and an address book. The items had been cleaned with gasoline to remove fingerprints. The sender promised to turn himself in, but never did. Police chased thousands of leads. Medical students were investigated because of the precision used to cut the body. More than one person confessed, but many of the confessions were false, made by people seeking attention. Over the decades, dozens of suspects have been named. One of the most famous was Dr. George Hodel, a physician whose own son later argued that he was the killer. Hodel had medical knowledge and was investigated by police, but he was never charged, and the accusations against him remain unproven. Books, films, and television programs have continued proposing new solutions, but none has produced evidence strong enough to officially close the case. Elizabeth Short became one of the most recognizable murder victims in American history, yet much of what people remember is the nickname, the photographs, and the legends created after her death. The person who killed her was never identified, and nearly 8 decades later, the murder of the Black Dahlia officially remains unsolved.